Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. And today's guest is Natalie Small. I can't wait for you guys to hear the amazing work she's doing, pure heart and soul with the Groundswell Community Project. I'm not going to go into much detail, I'll let Natalie do that. But global surf therapy, that's kind of all you need to say. Can't wait to hear a little bit more about how you got into it, Natalie. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Michael. It's really sweet to get to connect with y'all and yeah, I mean this is my life passion, so I could talk about it all day. So
And you say y'all like I'm a Southern boy, so
yeah.
yeah, you're in California, right?
I'm in California, but I'm
Yeah.
originally from North Carolina, so the y'all runs.
Aha. Yeah. Well, even my Southern California friends, they say y'all. It's just too good of a word to pass up
It
on.
is. It's so all
Well,
encompassing. Perfect word.
well, take us back a little bit. What is it? Tell us about your journey, kind of what led you to create Groundswell, and really, I'd love to hear if there was a moment in your life that just kind of made it clear that this was the path you were meant to take.
Yeah, I wish there was just like a clear moment that was just like
Yeah.
ding. But it really was so many different rivers running into the same ocean, and in a very specific time in my life. And a lot of self-doubt and fear and nerves around what it meant and is it possible? Is this something that actually exists and that I can do as a licensed clinician? And why isn't it something that you see everywhere yet?
And so
And
your
so
background is, tell us a little bit about like where you came from even before Groundswell was a thing.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And my background through the therapy field has been in somatic therapy, art therapy, play therapy, and ecotherapy. And
Okay.
so historic or like my journey had taken me to working with organizations like First Aid Arts and Shakti Rising, really looking at how to use the expressive arts for trauma recovery and healing. And so that brought me to all over the world, from the Philippines to Seattle, Mexico, Peru. I was working in safe houses for girls and women who were getting out of trafficking.
Wow.
Wow. And utilizing the expressive arts as a modality to be able to heal and be with the things that are unspeakable. And so when our words fall short, the arts can be a really powerful tool for that. And yeah, so I would have never, as I was going through my therapy career and profession, been like, oh yeah, surf therapy, I want to do that. Which is so cool because now I have clinicians and students, from the undergrad to the graduate level, reaching out and being like, hey, I want to be a surf therapist. How do I do that? What do I need to do? What are the trainings I can do? And that the fact that that word even exists and that people are able to use the internet and look it
Right.
up and find it, is just so exciting. And so it is really this new opening of what therapy and trauma therapy can be. Um, and it's, yeah, it's like my heart is just like "Ee," when I get a chance to be with it because it's really
I'm gonna
exciting.
take my headphones. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a bunch of echoing.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it was me. It's all me. That's why I asked you at the beginning. It's all good. I
Okay.
think it fixed itself. Perfect. So surf therapy, I guess, has that been a thing? I mean, for a long time. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, it's actually, oh, no, I'm getting that.
Oh, you are. I tell you what, if you look in the do you see where it says echo cancellation in the kind of on the right side? If you turn that on,
Oh, yeah.
see if that fixes it. We'll just cut all this part out. Don't worry about
It shows that it's on, but it can't be changed on.
it. Yeah, that's let me try to put mine back. I'd rather me hear the echo than you.
Okay.
Okay. Is that did that fix it for you?
Yeah,
I don't actually hear the echo now.
yeah, perfect.
So, okay, all right, fingers crossed. Okay, so yeah, tell us a little bit about the whole surf therapy world. It's not something I'm familiar with.
Yeah, it is a new and growing field in the therapy world, and even within like outside of the therapy world. And so when I first started, I was actually originally I was working at a safe house in San Diego called Jimmy, providing express art therapy. And through doing those groups, I started talking about the different modalities of being in nature or being with a different art modalities that support us with our emotional regulation, feeling grief or rage or um, self-doubt or excitement and joy. Like, how do you be with your emotions and how do you express them? And through that, I started talking about how the ocean has been that consistent space for me. And surfing specifically has been one of those tools of like being immersed in the ocean to feel my emotions and be held in the great abyss
Right.
of the sea. And so the ladies were like, well, why are we here at the house doing art therapy and drawing things and journaling? Why are you taking us surfing? And luckily, the house mom and my supervisor at the time were just super open and creative and supportive to let us go for it. And so I started Googling, like, okay,
Okay.
what is surf curriculum I should be using? Um, where does it exist? Who can I learn from? And I couldn't find anything with a simple Google search. And now that I've been in the field for a while, I've gotten a chance to connect with International Surf Therapy Organization, which was started, I
Wow.
think, in 2016. That was really it was like a handful, I think 4 or 5 surf therapy organizations from around the world that were coming together and starting to develop research and conversation around what is surf therapy, what does it look like, what does it feel like, how do we do it, and kind of creating like best standards of practices for it. And now, as I've been like geeking out more and more and looking up surf therapy research, the research that I've been able to find goes back to around 2014.
Cool.
So
Okay.
even it's pretty new. And a lot of the surf therapy work that's been done originally was focused around kids with autism or vets with PTSD or with different physical disabilities. And the work that I've been doing has really been focusing on the social, mental, spiritual aspect of the individual. And so really looking at like trauma therapy, and how the ocean, our bodies, and community can really be powerful tools for healing trauma. And so really coming to it from a very therapeutic mental health, marriage and family therapy lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really new. Like we're one of the first places that is able to provide surf therapy covered by insurance. There's another clinic
Really?
that has recently been doing that as well. So just really opening up the spectrum of what surf therapy can be. Um, and so like one of the clinics that I partner with and work with is called the San Diego Pain Trauma Institute, and it works specifically with invisible illnesses. So individuals
Mm.
that are living with chronic pain or chronic illness, that you'd see them walking around on the street and have no idea anything
Right.
is wrong or it's a struggle for them. But there's so much happening internally, even from like depression and postpartum depression, anxiety. So being able to really work with the invisible illnesses of mental health, with them, and then through them, we've gotten to do research where we've actually had a team of students from USC that came down to the beach with us and put um, like they put devices on everyone's heads
Yeah. Uh-huh.
surfing to track the activation in the brain, specifically around chronic pain and how the pain shifted in the different parts of the brain
Oh,
signaled, because of their time in water and held within our Groundswell surf therapy curriculum and modality. And so everything
very
from
cool.
that to working with women that are coming together from all different trauma experiences and lifestyles and economic statuses, and all being able to come together, getting a chance to explore the other parts of themselves versus the trauma labels, and getting a chance to feel something different rather than the depression and the anxiety or whatever the trauma is that they're dealing with, but being able to experience joy, for the first time as they're coming into the sea. And so it's really shifted the work of trauma therapy from being something that can be and is really heavy and dense, shadow work type stuff, into honoring, like, yes, it's heavy and dense and shadow work, and the importance of joy and connection and play and healing. And so it's just been such a beautiful journey that I would have never even thought that I would be on.
Right.
And now we're the first organization that's providing trainings that are accredited by the California Marriage and Family Therapy Association.
Wow.
So students who
That's
are,
impressive.
yeah, it's been beautiful. Students who are in their programs to become licensed therapists as well as licensed therapists in California are able to do our trainings and receive credits towards their licensure. Um, so yeah, it's wild. I would have never thought that in this moment in time where surf therapy is actually a word that clinicians are utilizing and getting trained up in.
Are you, does your organization able to offer surf therapy outside of the Southern California or California area?
Yeah. So one of the pieces as I started doing the work, I had started having individuals and organizations from all over the world reaching out and being like, hey, we see what you're doing. Can you train us in your curriculum? Can you support us to start something like this in our area?
Nice.
And so we actually have a branch in Scotland called Groundswell Scotland
Oh,
that has
wow.
been running. I think they started in 2018. And they were kind of our first sister in the work, and getting to see how they've taken the curriculum and really adapted it to their local culture and community and local needs. And then also organizations and clinics that are working with all different populations, not just women, have been able to come in, do our trainings, um, and now implement that out into their specific communities and populations.
Okay. Where, like, how, I'm kind of curious, how do people connect with your organization? Are they usually connecting with your organization, or are they connecting with local therapists who connected them to it? How do you see people really getting to you?
Hmm. Um, it's a bit of all of it. We have both clinicians reaching out to us for trainings and mentorship and support. We have an ongoing monthly consult group for clinicians that are in the works. That way we can continue growing and diving
Okay.
deeper together. But then we also have individuals that are reaching out and looking for resources and opportunities to participate. And so that actually, this past year, we launched the Groundswell Clinic and Institute, which really holds the space for individuals to be able to receive surf therapy support, and services through the by using their insurance or sliding scale. And then through the nonprofit, we have actually a providers page of individuals, clinicians, as well as organizations that have gone through the trauma informed trainings we provide that are now providing services in their area. So as a client, you can come to the provider page,
Okay.
look up your area or the topics of interest, and be able to find people in your area.
So you have a nonprofit part to your organization and another section? Okay.
Yeah, so we
All
started
right.
out as a nonprofit in 2016. The work
Mm-hmm.
itself has started up in like 2010, and then it slowly like morphed and became the nonprofit platform in 2016. So that way we could open up more access and provide more foundational elements for the organizations that we were partnering with. And then in this past year, we decided to open up the clinic, to really be able to focus on the rooted clinical trauma informed care that we're providing. And so we're providing everything from surf therapy to telehealth to our office, our therapy office is a sailboat in the
Yeah.
San Diego Bay.
Of
But really the
course it
goal
is.
but really, the goal of the clinic is to connect people back with their bodies, with community, and with nature. And so, somatic therapy, ecotherapy, play therapy, and community based.
What does growth for your organization look like? Like, what would you love to see six,
Mhm.
12 months from now?
Such a good question. I feel like if you had asked me that when we first started the organization, I would have never imagined that we'd be where we're at now.
Right.
So to like have those big dreams of what could be happening, part of me is like, I have no idea. Capable and what is possible as the future continues to unfold. But the things that I dream about is I'm working on my PhD, so that way
Ah,
I can potentially teach in the university spaces right now. There aren't any universities that are teaching or credentialing in surf
okay.
therapy. So I'd love to see it come into that more like Western educational space for people to access, um, as well as just continued research to be able to really understand and bring value to this work. Um, and that it's not just held within the psychology, mental health, or like, yeah, the psychology field where you have to have a licensed order of practice, but letting surf therapy kind of flip mental health on its head of this space where how, I mean, my big dream is that we don't need therapists anymore because we all know how to show up for each other in community and how to connect to our bodies and
Right.
connect and
Yeah. Trying to work
let
yourself out of a job.
exactly. So letting us really come back to our roots. And I think that's one of the things that's so beautiful about surf therapy is it like while it's this new and exciting Western mental health field, it really comes from indigenous roots of a deep relationship with the ocean
Yeah.
and the community. And so really being able to come back to that as a foundation, and being able to like relearn who we are and remember who we are.
I mean, do you have growth goals as far as providers or people using your services? Do you
Mhm.
kind of think in terms of that?
Yeah, I would love. I mean, right now we are paneled with four different insurance companies, and I would love to increase our paneling, so that way it's
Yeah.
more accessible for everybody. I would love to see us get more connected with local universities, to be able to provide the services specifically um, yeah, for students that are going through those huge life transitions of figuring out who they are, what they're
Hmm.
going to do, how they show up in the world. And also, I'm a postpartum doula, and so being able to work more with moms and connecting with birth centers and hospitals to be able to bring these services into those spaces as well. So those would be like my key areas
Yeah.
of connection and growth that I would love to see take place.
So do you, when you think about your organization, I'm just curious because when I kind of went down my path, I was a physician just in traditional medicine and never really meant to step in, never thought I was stepping into the entrepreneurial world. Do you feel like with what you're doing, like is that a world do you feel like you're in now?
Shit, I
Yeah.
the whole time I was kicking and screaming around it. I think that was the edges. Like I'm a therapist. I'm not a business person. I don't know how to run a
Right.
nonprofit. I don't know how to like
Yeah.
haven't been trained to do any of these things, marketing, nothing.
Uh-huh.
And so it's definitely been a ton of learning and a ton of mentorship, and a ton of failing along the way in
Yeah.
order
Yeah.
to get here. And I'm sure there will be a lot more failing as I continue to go on.
It's all
Um,
part of the journey.
it really is. That's something that surfing teaches you.
Yeah.
Unless
What
you're
are you what are you doing for marketing? Like how do you get the word out about what you're doing?
another good question. A lot of word of mouth, in the local community, as well as like we use Instagram. We have our website, LinkedIn. But yeah, it's definitely a field that we're trying to figure out and dial in. And I feel like it's constantly shifting and growing as well. And so to kind of figure out how to keep up with the best ways to reach the specific communities and populations that
Right.
we need to reach rather than it just getting lost in the mess. So it's
Are
definitely
there certain, I say businesses, but that's probably not the best word. I'm thinking about non-individuals. Like,
Mhm.
are there certain organizations, businesses, entities out there that would be ideal for you to connect with that you think could help you gonna see that vision of growth come to reality?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting with just like mental health and marketing in general right now because it is I feel like in the social media space there is a lot more conversation around mental health.
Sure.
Um, but it also feels weird to be marketing in social media for mental health services because of the ethics and confidentiality pieces that come in. So I feel like for me, the things that feel most aligned would be like connecting with other mental health organizations or associations like the California Marriage and Family Therapy Association, um, or
Hmm.
or different hospitals and um, like in San Diego, we have Scripps and Sharp, and so like being able to our Blue Cross Blue Shield, so being able to connect in with these different healthcare providers to be able to be a resource, for them. And then I feel like also there's so much around being able to. I would love to have the time and space to create more content that's really supportive for a community, and so like written manuals and resources, books, um, blogs, and different ways to like help get the material out there so people can start receiving, and then through that maybe deciding to show up to a program or a group or seek individual with us.
And so I guess mental health providers would be one
Mhm.
group
Yeah.
that would potentially use your resources, but also potentially their patients or clients could learn about it and tap into it. And it sounds like larger, even healthcare organizations, like you mentioned, Scripps. Who at those? I'm just curious, who at those organizations would be the people that you would love to have conversations with?
Ooh, this is like a great business conversation. Like these are you're asking me. Um, I think that's what I need to figure out, or like who, like what is the
Who are
best
those
to
people?
get
Yeah.
into those bigger organizations. I think even from the nonprofit sector, that was something that I constantly struggled with. Like we were really good at getting um, like family foundations and people that had been intimately connected with our work to like financially support and donate.
Hmm.
But when it came to getting like bigger businesses and corporations to come on board and be a sponsor or a big funder, that was where like I don't even know how to like start the
Right.
conversation in these places, and even just like the language that is used in those spaces versus the mental health field are so different. Um, so yeah, that was definitely an edge for me and something that I'm still trying to
Hmm.
figure out.
I think it's some can be sometimes one of the most difficult things is identifying who your people are, or when I say people, I mean, organizations, whatever, and how to get in touch with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In a way that they'll, respond to, and because it's really just about having conversations. Once you're having the conversation, then they'll get it. But a lot of the organizations, when they hear surf therapy or your Groundswell, they just won't get it, right? So you need to have that conversation to help them get it. And that's kind of one of the things I was curious about in a because that's what I was thinking about. It's a term or a field that is not likely well known.
Yeah, and even just the fact that the term surf therapy has been kind of the label that's been put on this. And I've been actually having a good number of conversations with some within our consultation groups around it. But surfing is pretty discriminatory. Like there's a lot of people that would be like, "Oh, I don't surf," or "I can't surf," or "My body
Right.
can't do that." And so as soon as you use the terminology surf, it's automatically
Mm,
excluding a large population. Uh,
right.
and even like, well, I don't live near the beach, and so therefore I can't do it. And so being able to find ways to communicate about it where it lands as like, wait a second, it's really about like ecotherapy, nature-based therapy, water-based therapy.
So you
I'm
really don't have to be on a surfboard in the ocean. Okay.
no,
Yeah, well, that's important. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay,
yeah,
so
it can
someone
be
in
part.
Indiana can theoretically do surf therapy, or probably a better word is out there
Yeah,
to be
and I mean,
determined one day.
even during the pandemic, a number of the women that we had been working with who had been able to go off their depression medications or anxiety medications because of their new relationship and surfing in the
Hmm.
ocean, all of a sudden weren't
Yeah.
able to for a time frame, and so we started doing like virtual waves groups. And
Mm.
it was beautiful to be able to see, like, even when we weren't in the ocean and people didn't have access to the ocean, being able to utilize our relationship to the ocean or connection to nature, even within the virtual space, was so powerful. And so there's so much, I mean, at the core of it, we are nature. And so the ocean just like helps
Right.
hold a mirror up for us to be able to see ourselves. But all of that has always been within us, and we can always access it. So it's just learning how to tap into that no matter where we are.
So intriguing. Yeah, I mean, I can see how it would be incredibly healing, and I'm so happy to hear that you don't have to be. I'm in Florida, so
The
I'm in
ocean.
an area where but I was just thinking how many people could benefit from such an experience that might not have such ready access to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is one thing people really need to know and understand about your organization or about what you do that we haven't talked about?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's similar, kind of what we're pinning on, but that it's for anybody, from any
Hmm.
background, from any age, to any trauma experiences. sometimes people think like, well, I haven't had like a huge big trauma and so I can't show up, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm too this or that. Um, and I think surf therapy, it's really for everybody. The ocean doesn't see all the different labels or all the different things that we're carrying around. We're just humans. And it reminds us that we're just humans and helps heal
Yeah.
us and really bring us back to self. Um, and so whether you live by the sea or are in the smack dab middle of the United States, we're all connected to
Yeah.
ocean through even just the simpleness of our breath. Like
Yeah.
when we're every inhale, like if you're coastal dweller, 90% of your oxygen comes from the ocean. If you're more inland, there's still a percentage of your oxygen that's coming from the ocean. And so even through our breaths, we're connected to water. And our bodies are 75% water. This earth is around 75% water. So there's so many connecting pieces of how we are nature and how if we can find ways to connect into that, even through just taking a sip of water
Yeah.
or having our feet in a tub. There's some really powerful ways that we can connect to that and let that be like a reclaiming and remembering of who we
I was not aware of that 90% stat of oxygen coming, so I guess that applies to me.
That's
Yeah,
your
that's very
contribution.
cool. Yeah, such a great conversation. I really appreciate just, how you shared your journey, like how you got to be here. It's obvious you have such great passion for something that can be so healing to. Thankfully, we got to the point that it could be for anybody and everybody. And if they want to get in touch with your organization, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, if you're looking for services, you can reach out to me at hello at thegroundswellinstitute.com. If you're looking at wanting to get involved in the nonprofit side of being able to support or fund or create access to the services, you can look at groundswellcommunityproject.org and info at groundswellcommunity.org.
Perfect. Well, thank you to you and for all the great work Groundswell Community Project is doing. It's
Thank you.
what a cool, cool organization